Before we get started, does anyone want to get out? Consider this mercy. I am inevitable.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Comic Blast podcast. My name is Grayson, and of course with me is the delicious, the delightful Keenan.
Dude,
Did you get my reference
I like
there?
that. Dude, thanks for having me on the
Spider-Man
podcast, man. I appreciate it. I've been listening for a while, so.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear you're such a big fan.
It's
Are
so
you
cool.
subscribed to the Patreon, actually?
No, I'm a broke college kid, but I
so you're a
offer
fake
my-
fan.
Yeah, well, I offer my services in the form of being on the podcast weekly and doing graphic design for the podcast. So that's how I kind of pay for my, support.
Yeah, that's not enough. Go to the Patreon right now and give me all your money.
Okay. I think the minimum's $1, and I probably have less than that in my bank account right now because I'm a broke college kid. So
That's disappointing.
yeah, I'm
But
sorry.
I feel that. Yeah. But yeah, that's a good way to plug the Patreon real quick. So hi everyone. There's our weird little monologue. I don't know why we just went into that, but
just stick to the script.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so of course, if you guys didn't know, we have a Patreon, and yeah, if you guys would go check that out for us, that would be fantastic. We have some rewards on there. We already have one person who is donating a very high amount, and we greatly appreciate it. Should we shout her out?
Yeah,
Are we
of course.
supposed to do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Jess, she was our first person to donate to us, and we were honestly kind of blown away, but we are very, very thankful for it. And it'll kind of help keep us in check. So if you do really want to support us, obviously, please, well, I'm really struggling today. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty tired. So yeah, but you're obviously not obligated to anything. But any small amount will help out and help keep us accountable and keep on creating content for you guys. But let me go back to what I was initially going to say before we had our monologue, because I didn't want to jump straight into the Patreon. It made it seem like really greedy. So what have you been up to, Keenan? How's it going?
It's going great. Real quick though, it's cool. Jess has actually been supporting the podcast for a long time. She actually went straight ahead and hit sponsorship status of the podcast.
Yes.
So we consider her basically a sponsor of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. It's the highest tier that you can do on our Patreon page, and I wouldn't expect that from really anyone. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to wrap my head around or just allow myself to accept something something that big. But it means a ton to us, and Jess has been
really
supporting. I mean, she's been listening to the podcast since day one, and really even before that, she was a big supporter of my YouTube channel before we started the podcast. So she's like the first one to post about the podcast every single day or every week that it comes out. She's the first one to share it with everyone. So thank you to her. It definitely does mean a lot to us. And if you're interested in some of the perks that we have going on over at Patreon, go check it out. I'm bringing back some of my Blu-ray vlogs that a lot of people are a fan of. So you can get that exclusively on there, and we have a bunch of other stuff going on over there. But what's going on in my life? Obviously I worked over 40 hours this past week, and I was also in school full time with a couple of tests. But it was really cool to finally reach the weekend, because this past Friday was Triple Force Friday, which was it was really cool for us as Star Wars fans. We got some cool stuff.
You only got the what all did you get? Just the Mandalorian?
I got
Pop
the Mandalorian Funko Pop, which turns out was a lot harder to find than I thought it would be.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I went around to Walmart and Target first because I went to Target first, and I didn't find them there. I ended up going to GameStop, which I don't really like going to GameStop I like the stuff that's in there.
Yeah.
But I never really have that great of an experience whenever I'm at GameStop, so I try to avoid it. But yeah, I went to Target and I got the Ray Funko Pop. I haven't posted anything about that.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the outfit on that looks so good.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. And then I got the Mandalorian one, and I picked up a Star Wars hoodie. That's it.
Oh, okay. So that was the hoodie that you posted. I gotcha.
Yeah, I did actually pick up. This is really like random, but they released new Blu-ray covers for all of the Star Wars movies that's currently available.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I didn't get them all obviously because I actually own them already, but I'm a big fan of the covers. A lot of people don't really like them, but I like how there's finally individual Blu-rays for the prequels, which was impossible to find.
Really?
Yeah, it was so hard to find unless I think maybe you can go on eBay and maybe find something really old, but in stores you cannot go and get you have the trilogy packs, and then you have the complete saga that you can get.
There was also the steel books. Right.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Those they sold those individually. Yeah.
But they released the new covers with comes with the digital code. I actually went and picked up the Phantom Menace.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I really like that cover. That's
I think those are the covers then. So when we went to go see Joker on Thursday, which we will get into in just a second, that's pretty much going to be most of this episode for whoever is possibly wondering. You saw the title of the video, But we were sitting in the car, my dad and I, and he was like, "Did you see the new artwork for like the Star Wars movies on Google Play, like for digital?" And I was like, "No, I don't think I did."
Yeah.
And he showed me all of them, and I don't know if they're the same ones, but like each one has like an individual like kind of color palette.
Yep.
So A New Hope is like purple. I don't remember all the colors exactly, but is it kind of like that, where they're kind of like all in the same vein, same style?
Yeah, it's the same exact artwork that you see on there because I looked it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Cool. So
I think they look awesome. Like I would love to have these as like some of these as like a poster or something.
Yeah.
Like it makes them feel so like I think having artwork and posters can make films feel like franchises like that feel so connected. So I really do love that. And then they even did it with like Rogue One and Solo. They even kind of were in that same vein as well.
One.
Yeah.
So
even Last Jedi was like, I actually kind of liked it. It was similar to what they had, but like it's red, and like it's a little bit of a different version of what like that regular poster that we probably all remember was like whether it's on crate and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty sweet. So yeah, the stuff that I got, I didn't get as much as, well, we probably got about an even amount.
Yeah.
I do want to go out and get more, but like I'm having to be a little bit more conservative. But I'm probably like, as it gets closer, I'm going to get more stuff. So I went to GameStop and I also got the Mandalorian Pop Funko. And it looks awesome.
It does.
There's actually an exclusive one for that, but I don't remember what store it is, and I really wanted that one, but I also really like the one with the rifle, so I just decided to get the standard one.
Yep.
They had a good amount at my GameStop. And then I also got 2 more Star Wars Pop Funkos. The third one was a Borderlands exclusive for anybody who cares about Borderlands. It was a Maya Pop Funko. But the other 2 Star Wars ones I got Finn, because I think Finn's design in that movie is incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I also got Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order. So I got 3 different Star Wars characters from 3 different mediums, I guess.
Yeah.
I got one from Mandalorian, I got one from Jedi Fallen Order, and I got one from Rise of Skywalker. Ideally, I would have preferred to have gotten either Kylo Ren or even Poe Dameron, although I wanted to get Finn regardless.
Yeah.
But they did not have Kylo, and they did not have Poe.
Man, those ones are stocked at Target.
Really?
Yeah, they have a ton of those ones.
Okay, I may be going to get Kylo then. I love that Kylo design with the cracked helmet so much.
Yeah, they had nothing for the Mandalorian at Target. Not a single thing. And they had all Rise of Skywalker stuff. So they were stocked there.
Target has always been like the number one place for, like, I think they're like tied, I think they're like not tied. Yeah, that's what I meant. They are like tied with Disney or like under some deal, because they're always like the biggest ones to have the Star Wars like posters and merchandise. Like they have an entire aisle dedicated to Star Wars stuff when it comes along. Like I remember that the toy section for The Last Jedi had one of the like the AT walkers, like a cardboard version, like over the toy aisle with like all the Pop Funkos and like Black Series figures and stuff. Speaking of which, I also really want to get the Mandalorian Black Series figure, and I've never. And like I don't even collect those figures, but that's one that I'm like, it looks so nice. But then again, Hot Toys, and I'm sure they're gonna do a Hot Toy of that.
Oh, did you not see them already? They
maybe
released
I did.
It.
They're doing
New York City Comic Con. They showed it off there.
So are they doing? Was it IG-11 and the Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did see them. Yeah, that's what I was talking about then. I know it was like Sideshow Collectibles, and I think they're the brand that's over Hot Toys. So yeah, I definitely like. I know you got that Spider-Man one recently, and you said it's amazing, but like the Mandalorian, I don't know, man.
It might be your first one, maybe.
I'm like, maybe I get that one instead.
I'll say, okay, so as far as the Black Series figure, I think it looks. I kind of stopped buying those a while back.
Yeah, I've never gotten any of them.
Yeah, I got a couple from The Force Awakens. They look awful right now. Kylo looks pretty good, but Rey looks nothing like her. But now the newer ones that are releasing, they actually have done a lot better on the designs, and the Mandalorian it's top notch. Like,
especially any character that has like helmets or anything like that, that definitely helps because getting those facial features. Like I've seen some of those figures and like. They like the eyes will be like on their cheeks sometimes.
There's just
and,
little
like,
dots on a face.
They're bad.
They're rough. I have like Kylo. I have like a Death Trooper one. Those ones look pretty good. But yeah, as far as the Mandalorian goes, I mean, God, that one looks amazing. That's what you want from an action figure when you're a kid. Like you want something like that. So. Yeah, I'm kind of that way too, where like if I see something that looks that good, then I'll go out of my way to get it. That's what happened with the Hot Toy, which is I don't know if I said it on the podcast that I got the Spider-Man PS4 Hot Toy.
Maybe you should do like just a vlog.
Yeah, I think I might do that. You know, we the local comic book shop. I guess it's like closer to me than you, but Planet Comics.
Yeah, it's still the closest one.
Yeah,
to me,
they actually had one in the store that they're selling.
What?
Yeah, it's for like I think it's about $230, which is basically what I ended up paying for it. But
that's not that bad though.
Yeah,
like all things considered.
Yeah, because you're avoiding the shipping costs and everything like that. So, but yeah, I got that Hot Toy. It's amazing, and it makes me want to buy more. Beautiful. But I don't think I ever will. I think it was for that one. It was like the fact that the design was so good. Yeah. And then that Spider-Man means so much to me. I'm like, I'm gonna get this one. Like it just meant that much to me. And from every like reviewer that I've seen that reviews Hot Toys, they say it's easily the best designed Spider-Man. Oh, so in terms of just like quality and how it holds together and everything like that, they've really they've loved it. So I don't know a ton about Hot Toys. I just knew I liked that one and I got it. And back to the Mandalorian, I'd love to have that one.
Yeah. So we can move on, but if you guys got anything for Triple Force Friday, please like send us an Instagram message or just let us know, like tweet at us. We'd love to see what you got because trust me, this is the season where Star Wars just goes all out with their merchandising. Like they make Pop Funkos for literally the most minute characters. And I was like talking to the person in GameStop, and I was like, they make these Pop Funkos for these characters that I'm like, I don't even know who this person is. Yeah. But I guess that's how it's always been with Star Wars. So like,
very minor. What is a BB-9E from The Last Jedi? Had like a Funko Pop, and it was like a big deal at first.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's evil BB-8.
Yeah, and then it's like a 2-second role in the film. Yeah. But yeah, they'll make Funkos out of everything. I've seen some of those ones that are like very obscure, and I'm like, probably not going to be the first one that I buy. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, if you've gotten stuff for Triple Force Friday, definitely send it. We're in Star Wars season now. I mean, the Joker, it's still like it's a hot topic right now. But now that the release date's passed, it's like all Star Wars from here until the end of the year.
Yeah, we've got Mandalorian, we've got Jedi Fallen Order, we've got Rise of Skywalker. There's going to be a ton of books and comics that are coming out, especially beforehand. So And I guarantee, I'm pretty sure within the month we'll probably get a new trailer. It's usually that late October, early November we usually get that final trailer.
I'm gonna say, what's today?
Today is the 7th.
Today's Monday. I'm gonna say we get it next week.
You think that early?
Yeah, bold prediction. Next Monday. Next Monday, Monday Night Football on ESPN. It happens.
It'll definitely be on Monday Night Football. That's like almost a guarantee.
Yeah.
It just depends on what. I don't think it'll be in for another like minimum 2 weeks, max like 3 or 4.
We'll see. If I'm wrong, you can make fun of me. If I'm right, we're gonna take this clip out of the podcast.
Trust me, I want you to be right. Like, we'll see.
Because it's mid-October. Next Monday will be mid-October. So
that's crazy.
I wonder when. I'm not gonna spend time looking it up. I was gonna see when the first Last Jedi trailer came out, but
the first Last Jedi trailer.
Yeah, I mean, not the first. The
last.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
The last Jedi. Yeah.
But yeah, it was sometime in October. I remember that.
It's usually always around this season when they do it, and yeah, so they may even do like a final Mandalorian trailer just to get that last push out for Disney Plus. It wouldn't surprise me if they do that, considering that's like about a month or about 5 weeks away.
God, man. We're like a month away from that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Disney Plus in general.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff. You know what I'm excited for? All right, sorry, we're gonna get the Joker. I swear we're gonna get the Joker.
Yeah.
But what I'm so excited about with Disney Plus is they're putting on like all of the Spider-Man animated shows on there.
Oh my God, and the X-Men.
Yeah, you didn't know. Yes, they're gonna put on X-Men.
Yeah.
They're putting on Spider-Man Unlimited. They're putting on the '90s cartoon. They're putting on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Because Fox owns that stuff. And they bought Fox. Man, that's the one thing Sony can't get.
Yeah. I mean, in the terms of like merchandising, like I'm pretty sure Disney owns like almost everything. It owns like everything Spider-Man except the movie rights. Like it's because they do like all the TV shows and everything. They come out with like a TV show every 5 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to, or before we get on, I know it's been like, we've already talked for like at least 15 minutes by now, but just one quick reminder, if you would follow us on our social media channels, that's comicblast_ on both Instagram and Twitter. We would greatly appreciate it. You can find all our updates on there, and our personal our personal channels will also be put in the description of those. So yeah. Let's move on to one quick last thing before we get into Joker, and that is the Birds of Prey trailer that came out last week. Came out right after we uploaded
the day after
our
the podcast.
The day after. So yeah, what did you think about the Birds of Prey trailer?
This was very underwhelming and very meh to me.
Yep,
and
I agree.
It honestly felt a lot like Suicide Squad to me. Just in terms of the trailer, I'm not saying the film per se, but the trailer
I can
felt
actually
like
see
Suicide
where you get
Squad's
that. I didn't
trailer.
even think about that, to be honest. But yeah, I could see exactly where you're coming from.
It almost started the same way. Like the music was familiar. I posted something like on Twitter about how nowadays trailers like to open up music with like a piano key, and and I went back and looked at the first Suicide Squad trailer, and I was like, wow, I was like, this is really familiar. That
first trailer is still gold.
Yeah,
for Suicide Squad.
And then they switched up the tone completely after that. But yeah, this was man, dude, I was actually really excited for this film.
Yeah.
And after that trailer, I was like, this looks like the same generic DCEU film that we got from Suicide Squad.
I don't know if it looks generic to me. I think it just looks to
predictable
me. It
for
doesn't
me, at least.
Really? Okay, so maybe that's where we disagree. I don't think it looks predictable at all. I think it looks very unpredictable, but I think it looks like it just looks weird to me. Like it looks like a very weird film. And I don't have anything with like against like weird films because I like a lot of weird films, but
yeah,
this is one that I'm just like, I don't really understand what they're going with this. Like, and especially after I saw that trailer, I'm almost confident that leaked plot is true.
It looked like based on what I saw from the trailer, this is how I perceived the plot. It looked like Joker, obviously, and Joker and Harley have broken up, and now Harley's trying to find kind of like where she is in the world and figure out, herself. She's going to be more independent, and it looks like she goes to work at this club where Ewan McGregor's Black Mask is probably running that club, and it seems like he is probably going to be very abusive to the women that work there. And now I see like Harley Quinn, obviously she just left something abusive from another male character, is growing, and she's becoming, more independent and moving on from that lifestyle. So she kind of starts like this uprising with other female characters that potentially work at that club too. And that leaked plot that we won't really get into details about because A, it's spoilers, and B, it's not really friendly to the most of our audience. But it looks like something that's actually true.
Yeah. That's what kind of just the whole thing like worried me. Is like I was hoping it would be. I just was hoping the tone would be a lot different, especially from like that teaser that they did like around February.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was pretty underwhelming for me. And I only watched it once, but I just was watching it and I'm like, wow, nothing made me go, oh my God, or blew me away. It was just like, this is kind of meh. So, yeah, that's our thoughts on the Birds of Prey trailer. I know not a lot, but I want to get talking to our biggest and last topic, which will probably take a good amount of time because we're just going to give us free thoughts on this. But Joker. You saw it. So you didn't go see it again, right?
No, but I'm going to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought about seeing it again as well, but it just depends on how busy I am and time and everything. But as always, with our traditional movie review style, we'll do non-spoilers at first, and then hopefully, if Keenan doesn't spoil it, like he did with Far From Home.
Did I? Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, because in Far From Home, but if you guys back then he spoiled it, we had to re-record the thing.
Did we? Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That feels like ages ago.
This movie's a lot easier. Oh yeah, man. That was 3 months ago.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But this one's a lot easier to not spoil.
Sure.
So, I mean, and even then, it's like, even if you do spoil something in this film, it's like, it's not a big deal because it's about what you expect.
There's like one or two things that I wouldn't want spoiled for me. The rest of it, it's like pretty much what you would expect.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only thing there's only one thing that I wouldn't want spoiled for me. The rest of it, I was like, yeah, no, this adds up to what I would imagine a Joker origin movie to do. So yeah, we're gonna start off with non-spoilers, and then we'll let you guys know when we're gonna jump into spoilers, and that's when we're just gonna like open the floodgates and just free rant. So yeah, I already kind of know your thoughts on this movie, but go ahead and humor me, elaborate. What are your thoughts on Joker?
For our audience, I love this movie so freaking much. And I kind of had a feeling I was going to like it before I even went into it. But I love this movie. Just initial reaction. And it's still kind of fresh, so I'm not sure how it's going to age for me at least. But right now, I think it's probably my favorite movie this year. I know, obviously, we have like... I
could see that.
Yeah, I mean, we like have Endgame, which is huge. But in terms of just like a film overall, it was my favorite one to watch. And it's so weird, but this movie you kind of have to separate from the rest of the comic book movies. Because...
For sure.
You and I both, we love comic book movies. But I think we can also really, really appreciate like... to use like Martin Scorsese's term, like real cinema, like real films, that are like, very practical, well shot films, very story driven and character driven. Not that like comic book movies aren't, but it's very grounded is probably the best word.
They're grounded and they're more based in like the art of storytelling, I would say.
It's not very
necessarily
real
basing
world.
it off of comics or this huge fictional universe. Not to say that those things can't be fictional, but it's like they're kind of more like people like to separate them, which I could see. Like I feel like even in my own mind, I separate. So but this is a very there is only two types of movies that I would consider movies that are based on comic books but not comic book movies.
Sure.
And that would be at least two that come to mind. That would be Logan and Joker. Those are the two films that I'm like, these are much bigger, or if you want to say maybe they're much smaller, I guess,
definitely
than a traditional comic book movie. They're not about the action. They're not about the huge set pieces or the special effects. It's about the characters, the relationships, the story, building them down. Tearing them down, building them up. Sorry,
I've never had any luck building down.
So yeah, and those are the two films. So Joker is like kind of in its own, it's its own thing. For myself, while I don't extremely love this movie, I do really like it. I felt it was a little predictable, which is to expect. I mean, there's only you can't be. It's hard to not be predictable with a Joker movie.
Sure.
But I definitely was not disappointed with this movie. And for full disclosure, when I was walking into this movie, I was petrified that I was gonna hate this movie, because I was this felt this almost felt like I was afraid it was going to be kind of like DC's Venom. Not in the sense that Venom was all about just being a dumb fun movie, but in the sense that this is a villain, a movie that I never thought we really needed. I never really wanted a Joker movie. I thought any of the best Joker material is always going to be paired with Batman, and that
it's fair.
That his legacy has always been linked with his rivalry with Batman, and that's what makes the character so great. But I think this movie, for the most part, proved me wrong. I would say that there was, this is, I wouldn't say this is a spoiler. Just don't get your hopes up. Batman's not in this movie. That's not, and I'm glad he's not. And it's really based on the character of Arthur Fleck and him becoming the Joker. And so yeah, I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I wasn't surprised. I was just that was honestly what I was about expecting. I wasn't expecting to hate it. I was afraid I was going to hate it. So when I walked out of the theater, I was that was a good movie, but by no means am I blown away. It's grown on me a lot since we saw it a couple days ago. And especially there's a lot of stuff that I think the best part about this movie, at least for me, is the visual storytelling. It's the cinematography. Yes. It's the lighting. It's the angles. All of that stuff, and I can really appreciate that, especially being someone who works with cameras a lot.
Right.
Cameras and editing are two of my biggest things, and so I can really appreciate when it's just movies with gorgeous cinematography. Another thing. This movie's score. Holy crap.
Yeah. It's one of the best scores I've ever heard in my life.
As I was watching it, I just kept on listening, and I was this score is horrifying, but beautiful.
It made me smile in certain parts, because it kind of it's so weird, because when it comes to a Joker,
it's a character of itself.
Exactly. Because Joker is so complex, and it's really hard he doesn't really, you can't really get into the mind of him, and at the same time he doesn't really express a ton. He holds a lot in, until the movie develops, really. But yeah, they use that score to kind of really to kind of set the tone, or kind of explain how Arthur felt on the inside. Mm-hmm. Because there were times where it's weird, but there were times where the music wasn't aligning with what I was seeing. And that says a lot, because on the outside we could have, we can look happy, where on the inside, it can be disaster and terror for us in our own minds. I can't speak to that personally, but I know that people do feel that way. So there were times, if you really pay attention, where you would think that the Joker looks like he's actually a little bit happier. There's times where he's you've seen in the trailer, where he's with his mother, where it's like, this is one of his like actually like happier moments.
Yeah.
But the score was actually dark and menacing. So it kind of like was very conflicting. And and that was what was like so brilliant about it. Like I could go on forever and just talk about the score, because there was a time like halfway through the movie you just turned to me and you're like, this score is amazing. And I was like, yep. I was like, it is that good.
Yeah, I hope it's on like Apple Music or like Spotify or something.
It's
like,
on Spotify right now.
Okay, then I'm gonna actually, if it's on Spotify, it'll probably be on Apple Music. So I may go listen to that after this, just to hear it, to kind of like reinvoke those feelings, because like I'm like, I love good movie scores. God, like it's just when you have like it's a character of itself.
This
like,
was different.
Like this is just kind of like it really I don't think the movie would have been even as good as it is without that channel. I feel like it allows you to go into his mind. So yeah, I mean, I think the negative for me on this film really is just like its predictability, and also its like its familiarity. Is that a familiar? What? I can't talk. You get what I'm saying.
Familiaris.
That's not a word.
I know.
It felt familiar is what I'm trying to say.
There you go. You found it.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like familiarity is what it was. Yeah, there you go.
It's just hard to say, but it's a word.
It's just hard to say, and I'm also just, like I said, very tired. So, yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people compare it to films like Taxi Driver.
Oh, and that's... I thought you were talking about comparison to like other Jokers. Okay, yeah.
No,
so in that
not even that sense. I'm talking about like other
agree
films.
With you. I 100% agree with you on that.
It essentially it feels like a film like that, but with a Joker skin. Like it even in some senses, it reminded me of the movie Drive in a couple of times.
Dude, I was gonna say that. I was waiting to bring that up. You stole it from me. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm a thief. Yeah, it's like, and Drive is probably like my favorite film of all time, at least if it's not like, not counting Star Wars or anything like that.
Not comic book movie. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, like Drive is probably the movie that got me into appreciating film as an art form.
Sure.
Or at least made me realize that. And so, yeah, like that was a movie that's very much kind of like a descent into madness. Not that the character goes insane, but like it's just a very like it gets crazier and crazier like, as it goes on.
Loses self-control.
Yeah,
that character,
and that's where I kind of saw like that in Jokers. I'm like, oh, I've kind of seen this before. Even have you seen the movie You Were Never Really Here?
Yeah,
with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
that it also reminded me of that. It almost felt like Joker was the inverse of that film, where it's like it's a very psychological movie, and I love films that delve into the minds of characters. Like it's even like a passion of mine to make like a psychological thriller. So I love that.
I thought Drive, definitely Taxi Driver. I mean, God, they take a lot. It's Scorsese, so they definitely take a lot from Taxi Driver. And yeah, the whole time I kept on thinking, like watching the movie, I was like Drive, and I was like a little bit of like Nightcrawler. It kind of had those vibes.
Oh, that's true. It's like a combination of the two.
Yeah, it's
like
a little bit of all of that. So if you're into those movies, you'll probably enjoy it. For me, like I definitely, like I said, I kind of like went into this movie kind of separating this from other comic book films. Like I wasn't going into it like when I go into like an Avengers movie, there's certain things that I want to see, like certain characters interact, or I'm like, oh, I want like this pulled from the comics. With this film, I was like, I want to see like a good dark movie. Like I haven't seen a movie like this, even though it does, it is a character adaptation, or from a graphic novel or anything like that. But it's been a while since I've gotten to seeing like another Drive or another Nightcrawler. So for me, those are like some of my favorite films ever.
Yeah,
I'm
thinking
really
cool
like
I'm thinking some of like my favorite films, and they're kind of all like that template of the Joker.
What's the movie with Dan Stevens?
Oh, The Guest.
The Guest. Yeah.
Like, I knew. Yeah, that's one
very
probably
different,
like,
but kind of also has that vibe.
It's tied with Drive, like as one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
Like that. I was about to say like top 3 films are all similar in the sense that they all are just like they go crazy, and that's The Guest, that's Drive, and Nightcrawler.
It's one of those
all
things where
three.
you don't know where you are with the character until they actually lose it.
Mhm.
Like you're like,
Yeah.
I kind of root for this character, but like, what's up with them? You know?
Yeah.
And then they do
Mhm.
something crazy, and you're like, okay, I cannot empathize, sympathize with this character at all
Yeah.
anymore. You're like, this guy is a villain.
This guy's a villain, this guy's nuts, or like, yeah. So I think that's probably why it felt kind of like similar to me. But
Yeah.
I think what would have made this film kind of excel for me a bit more as if it wasn't as, if I think the plot is a little generic in the sense that like it's just a series of like. Do you think we should go ahead and jump into spoilers so we can kind of talk more about the plot?
One last thing before we get into spoilers.
Okay.
Let's talk about the acting. Joaquin Phoenix, incredible job.
I
I'll
mean,
just say that.
yeah,
like,
he kills it. I'm not even surprised.
I will not be mad if he wins an Oscar for his performance.
Yeah.
As a lead actor.
Yeah.
I also obviously there's going to be comparisons made. I definitely I think that live action wise, Heath Ledger of course is like the greatest of all time. But
Yes,
I would
I
say
don't think
that
anything
Joaquin
overtops
is
that for
actually
me.
right up there with him. I'm not sure if he surpassed him, because he brought something he brought a lot of a new things to the
different-
character. Yeah,
It's a different Joker, man.
exactly. But there were times, and the same thing happened when I was watching Heath Ledger's Joker. There were times where I was like, I did not see the actor anymore. I was like, this is a completely different person, like I've never seen
Yeah.
before. And that's how I felt about Joaquin Phoenix. I kind of just forgot that was him. And I was like, this
He
is just this
transformed
crazy guy.
so much. Like,
Yes.
both Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix, they both transformed their
Very
entire...
much outside of who they've been before in other
Yeah.
roles.
No, exactly. I mean, like, it's, when The Dark Knight came out, like, I didn't even know really who Heath Ledger was. And so, like, when I saw the real Heath Ledger, I was like, that guy is Joker.
That
I'm
British
like, okay.
dude?
Yeah, like, he looks nothing like what he looks like
Yeah.
in the movie. Like, he's an entirely different guy. And, like, the more that you think about it, like, I'm like, when Arthur Fleck, or when is Arthur Fleck, like I can see Joaquin Phoenix, but like then it's the thing is like he makes such a dramatic transformation that like sometimes I just kind of forgot that he was Joaquin Phoenix, and that like because especially with his weight loss and like that hair and like his like just creepy.
I just
face.
appreciate it. Like I appreciate somebody who obviously made a lot of sacrifices to their body and probably mental health to bring an authentic form of the character to life. For
it's
the
kind of
audience.
Scary though. Like
It
I don't
really
think
is.
I would ever want a person to do that for a movie. Like but like sometimes people just get that into it, man.
Gotta respect it in a way though.
I was doing okay, so like and honestly like I don't blame them because like so it's kind of weird. Like I'm kind of glad like we did this at this kind of at like a perfect time. Last night I was actually in a short film. And so I was helping some buddies out of mine, and I was playing a senator in this movie or in the short film.
Mm-hmm.
And so in it like I kind of had to turn on my acting chops and like and which is very weird because like I don't act. Like I've never been like in theater or drama or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but like I immediately started thinking of natural dialogue, natural tones, what it felt like to be kind of like in this character's shoes.
Yeah.
And then even then, like, so like for some clarification, like I'm playing a senator, this person doesn't want me to pass this law. And so like, and I'm kind of getting pissed at them for like, to keep on nagging me on. And then later on, like he pushes me into the road and I get hit by a car. And I got to do the stunt for that, which was pretty cool. And so like I had to like channel like a scream, like this deathly scream. And like my first scream was just more like kind of like,
Yeah.
And then, but like my other scream was just like, I can't do it on here because it'll just break the mic. But it was like such a raw and visceral scream. And they were like, holy crap, that was so good. And so, and like getting into that, it's fun, man. Like you get like kind of like an adrenaline rush from it. I don't blame these actors that get that invested in it because I'm like, would I ever lose like that much weight for a role and like literally like just go absolutely insane? Would I lock myself in a room like Heath Ledger would and just like isolate myself from society? No way.
Yeah.
There's no way I could do that, but I get it. And so I highly commend Joaquin Phoenix, and I'm glad he accepted this role and essentially saw it as a he didn't see it as a comic book movie, you know. Like I remember I saw an interview. He said that he didn't. Like, this has never been like a dream role of his, but like he just thought of it as like another character, and thought and put and. I mean, we all know that Joaquin Phoenix is just so good with movies like Her, and also you never really hear he's fantastic in that. So like we know what he's capable of. So yeah, I'm very happy, and I'm, like I said, I'm not even surprised like how good he was, because like I just knew he was gonna absolutely crush it. So yeah,
it's refreshing after Suicide Squad. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, man.
that Joker.
What I would have done to have had his Joker in Suicide Squad.
Honestly, I this is off topic a little bit, but I honestly think that Jared Leto has a good Joker in him. It's really about the director wanting a specific type of Joker, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think Jared Leto's a pretty good actor, and I feel like he kind of has like the style, like he has the look for it and everything like that. I feel like he probably could have had something good in him, but you know, it is.
Yeah, like he definitely sells like the psychopath look, you know.
Yeah.
Like and I was never had a problem with his like tattoos or his design or anything. Like I was like, no, this guy definitely looks like a variation of the Joker. He's not like a classic Joker. He's not like a clown. He's literally a psycho.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think the same thing, but at the same time, I'm like, Joaquin Phoenix is like, I think he's the closest to ever looking like the Joker,
at least
like, or at least in terms of like his facial features and his build and everything.
Yeah.
Like he looks like the Joker. He's got the right nose, he's got the right chin, and
dude,
like
the
jawline.
laugh. Oh my god, dude,
his
laugh was
man,
so freaking good.
It's so good.
The part
he kills it.
This is in the trailer, so if you've seen the trailer, you already know. But the part where he's walking down the hallway laughing, and then he turns the corner and stops immediately.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. In the shot, like the whole shot, that was amazing.
Speaking of that, now can we get into spoilers? Because there's something about because I always have a hard time like transitioning into spoilers, because it's like, what do you talk about first? You know?
Yeah.
So to find a good point, we're going into spoilers right now. In that scene, we learn in the movie that apparently his that laughing thing is from like a disease or like some kind of like illness.
I think it's from his head trauma from when he was abused.
Yeah.
It like triggered something there.
In my head, I feel like, you know, so there's that part where he said, like, the cops ask him, it's like, is this real or not? And he's like, you tell me. What did you... In my head, I was like, oh, no, he's faking all this. Like, or not that he's faking it, but, like, he's actually, like, he finds it funny. And, like, and that was, like, kind of like a thing, like, you can't explicitly tell. I was curious what your thoughts were on that whole thing.
Yeah, like, when I was listening to it, or when I was watching the film, I like paused for just a second to think about it, but I didn't put too much weight into it. And I just kind of moved on. I mean, it's an interesting point. There's a lot of things in the films where you can be like, was that real or was it not?
This movie is so interpretive, and that's why I kind of love it. Is you can kind of make it what you want it to be. And I think that can be sometimes that can be a really bad thing, and sometimes that can be a really good thing. And I think for Joker's case, it works a lot.
Yeah.
Another thing that's like hugely interpretive is kind of the whole like Wayne family drama stuff, like you know, him possibly being his half brother, like and there's also like the thing with his girlfriend, like for a while, like like I was surprised. I was like I watched that and I was like, this is like I'm like, at any point now, like so what I thought was gonna happen in that scene is when he walks into that room, like after he kills those 3 guys, which and by the way, when he kills those 3 guys, I didn't feel bad for those guys at all.
Yeah,
like, to be
really
honest, I was like, they beat him up. They were being super creepy to this girl.
I thought they were gonna try to rape her. So I was like, dude, save her. Yeah, I was like, save her.
Yeah, and so I was like, I'm not even worried about these guys. And like, he kills them, and like, you can tell he enjoys it.
Yeah.
But then he goes straight back to his apartment and like just starts making out with Zazie Beetz' character, and I was like, what? And then I remember I was like, within like 2 minutes, they're going to just like, he's going to wake up and be like, he's going to be back in his apartment and like realize that was all a dream. Mm-hmm. But he didn't. Like they kept on running with it. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm just going to have to accept that. Yeah. And then I was like, then later on, they make you realize, oh no, it was all fake. And I was so like, cool, though.
The fact
it's a great
that
moment.
The fact that, because I was on the same, I was a little bit on the fence with it too. I was like, God, man, like she's not even questioning a single thing about this dude. She's just like
creepy too.
It was almost too perfect of a relationship, and it was like one that you have to construct in your own head, where she was just 100% there for him and only him. Mm-hmm. And it was less to do because I'm like, where's the kid? It was less to do about him trying to help her with anything. Like it was nothing like that. So I was like, man, this is like weird. And I was like, I thought she was gonna die because there's
that would be so messed up.
There would be like interpretations like in the comics and in animated movies where like Joker's married or he has a love interest and she dies.
I mean, we even see it in The Dark Knight.
Makes him snap. Yeah. So, so as far as that goes in that kind of twist, I was like, this is really cool. And then you get into like the whole Wayne thing, where there was that twist.
And for a while, I believed it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be the.
I actually liked that.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
So, liked what?
Like, I was actually kind of disappointed it wasn't true. Because I was like, this is different.
I was as well. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's what I wanted to predict. Like, I didn't want it to be predictable. I was like, oh my God, Joker is Bruce Wayne's half-brother.
Never been done before.
That's insane. But see, the thing is in my head, I'm like, I'm kind of wondering, I wonder if, like, it was kind of true, though. Like, I mean, I feel like those files, like, the files say that he was, like, abused and stuff. But, like, yeah, they could have been messed with. Like, Thomas Wayne's a powerful guy.
Yeah.
You know, if he wanted to get some stuff changed, if he wanted to cover this up, like, I know for a fact he would do it. But, like, and so it's hard to say. And so, like, part of me in my head is I'm like, no, he actually was his kid. But, like, at the same time, I'm like, I don't feel like their ages would match up.
Definitely
or anything
ages
like
don't
that.
match up.
Because I'm like, Arthur Fleck's at least, like, 43 to 45.
Yeah.
And Bruce Wayne is, like, 7 or 8. Speaking of just, like, okay, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. So were you with the whole like remaking of the Waynes getting killed, of seeing Batman's origin yet again? How did that make you feel?
I thought that was kind of a throwaway for me. I was like, I felt like they just had to put that in there for some reason, where to finally like kind of connect the story or bring it, full circle. That whole thing didn't really make sense to me, and I felt like it was a little bit rushed too. So I was kind of whatever.
Yeah, when I saw it, I almost kind of rolled my eyes.
Yeah.
And my dad, I love you, Dad, but I kind of disagreed with his opinion, where he was just like, oh, I thought it was perfect because they did like the necklace thing, or whatever. But I was like, they do that in every single one. Like, it's literally
animated too.
The Burton one, the animated version, not the Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Batman v Superman. Like, I feel like we see it in literally every movie that Batman's in. Was it? Oh, it was in Gotham as well. Yeah. So I was like, I felt like the whole. I think what it would have been genius is it showed the Waynes walking into the alley
and left it.
And then, you know what happens.
Right out
or maybe
out
like,
of the movie,
or even, like, hear a gunshot, like, while Joker is on the roof, and, like, not make it, like, this big moment. Like, don't make it where he's, like, turns and, like, hears the gunshot. Make it be, like, oh, you know what happened.
Yeah.
I think that would have been kind of cool. So I kind of rolled my eyes when that happened, but that last act, by the way, just during that whole thing, when he gets, like, hit by the ambulance, and, like, they're, like, kind of, like, praising him or whatever, is, like... That part is nuts.
My favorite part of the movie, I think, was when he went on to Murray's show. And just him sitting there and having that conversation. Because it was very chilling, because I was like, what is he going to do here? Because they really teased the whole idea that he was going to kill himself on the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And as it kind of like started to progress, it seemed like he was getting angrier, and I kind of felt like his mind was changing on that during the show.
I think he went in like realizing like, or I think he went in planning to kill himself.
Yeah.
And then he realized he's like, no, I'm gonna kill this guy.
And oh my god, dude, like the part where he was just like, he's like, you get what you effing deserve. And I was just like, and then he you know, pulls the gun on him, and
Yeah.
I wasn't really shocked, but at the same time, it was like, in my head, that and the whole scene with his like, you know, the whole scene with his clown friend going to his apartment, like those two scenes were very reminiscent of Drive for me.
Yes.
Because they were just like very brutal attacks out of nowhere. Like the one with his clown friend kind of reminded me of the elevator scene in Drive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what made me think of that.
It was actually like in a way that whole scene was just a little bit hilarious to me with his other friend.
Yeah, like I felt so like it was such a weird scene. Like you kind of want to laugh, but at the same time, like that was. This movie's been getting a lot of controversy for being like super violent or whatever, and I'm like, you guys do not see enough movies.
No,
I'm like,
there's like two violent parts, and that was like it.
that one kill, and like maybe when he kills his mom, like
dude, they have not seen a John Wick film. I mean, my gosh, John Wick literally kills a guy with a book.
Yes, shoves it in his freaking jaw, and like I'm like that part. I was like, oh my god,
yeah.
Like, speaking of John Wick, I'm making a video on John Wick, guys. So, or by the way, let me butt in that real quick, and then we can get back to the Joker stuff. Those videos that I was talking about last week, they are coming. There's been a bit of a delay. We have to take care of some stuff in terms of just like the graphics and everything like that.
Really, we're waiting on. We got an intro to our YouTube channel being made. We're just waiting on that before we can upload the videos.
As soon as I have that, I can re-edit it, and then I'm gonna start uploading those for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But yeah, I'm doing one on John Wick right now. But yeah, like I don't know why. Back to Joker, I don't know why people like just blew up and like with this whole violence thing. I'm like it just didn't make any sense to me. I think just because it was Joker.
I saw somebody tweet that somebody was saying something about the violence in the movie, and somebody tweeted and said Batman killed more people in BVS than Joker killed in the Joker.
Oh my god.
I was like,
he really did though.
That's so true.
Oh my god.
But everyone loves it when it's Batman. But I mean, like, Joker, he killed 3 people, then he killed the clown guy, and then he killed Murray. 5 people. Oh, and then shoot, I forgot about that. Okay, so like maybe 6 or 7 people. But
yeah, it was definitely under 10. I'll say that.
Yeah, and
Batman
he was
probably
just wiping
killed
out guys.
Oh yeah,
and torturing people.
Oh my god,
was
Batman
so
was a
funny.
freaking monster.
I wish I knew who sent that tweet, because I was like, they deserve a medal for that one. I was like, I appreciated it very much.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like there's a whole lot of other stuff I can talk about with spoilers. There's not much to spoil really.
Yeah,
you know?
there's not.
And like we talked about most of our stuff with the movie, it's like it's just a lot different than like Far From Home or Endgame or any movie, like major comic book movie that has like actual spoilers.
Yeah.
Because it's like you kind of know what you're gonna get. There's small plots here and there that like you don't want to get these moments just spoiled for you, but like in the overall plot, like you can't really spoil that. Like, oh, this man goes insane, stuff happens to him, or like this guy gets beaten down and trodden over and goes insane and becomes the Joker. That's literally what the gist of it is.
Yeah.
Like, and we all knew that going in.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say that this for me was like, this was the movie that I really needed at this specific time, because as much as I love superhero movies, MCU movies, DCEU, there are times where I get a little bit fatigued with them.
Yeah.
Just because it's a lot of the same, not like story wise, but tone. Tonally it's very similar. And this was just so refreshing, even though there was some predictable moments. It's really what I needed. Like every now and then something will come along and just like spark a fire in me and just kind of reignite my love for film and make me want to go watch more movies. And
I'm the same way. Lately, I've been wanting to watch so many good TV shows. I've been wanting to watch so many movies. Like, I know for a fact, like, when, like, I've been talking with a friend, and they were saying, like, this is kind of like the season of movies. We've got Joker, we've got El Camino coming this
Oh, yeah.
Friday. Oh God, we've got The Lighthouse. We've got Uncut Gems, which looks freaking incredible.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that movie.
Same.
I'm just so passionate about like film again. I'm just like, man, I just want to watch so many good movies. Because like, full disclosure, kind of back to the whole Taxi Driver thing. I actually haven't seen Taxi Driver.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, but I know I was like, that's what a big comparison that people have been making, and I like kind of know the basic plot of it. So I was just kind of like, you know, so I need to do some catch up on some movies. It's just been, my life's been really busy, so it makes it hard. Like when we went to go see Joker, I was so tired.
Yeah,
like,
you were.
I
was
my
trying to get
eyes
you
were
hyped up.
Yeah, you were like, dude, I'm so excited. And I'm like, dude, I'm not excited. I'm like, I'm just like, I want to go home and sleep.
Yeah.
Like, and so like, it's just been an ongoing thing, just because like, got a lot of stuff going on. You and I both, but like,
I'm getting back. Like, I'm getting happier again. And a lot of it, like, it sounds stupid, but a lot of it has to do with the weather, because I hate summer with a passion.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
And the past couple of days, like, we're finally getting into fall, and like, we're getting some good movies that are coming. You know, The Mandalorian's gonna be here soon. Like, I'm excited about things now.
I can't wait. Thanksgiving break. Probably I guarantee there's gonna be like a new episode of The Mandalorian and Jedi Fallen Order, baby. Like,
we're gonna figure this out, but I think that we're gonna have to probably put out a weekly like recap episode of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, even if it's 15 minutes, I would absolutely. I would love to do a weekly like
just
review.
As soon as it gets over, we just hop on the mics and just like talk about what we saw. Like, I think
it'd be awesome
really
actually
cool.
to watch. Like, that's true. It'd be cool if like maybe we could do like viewing parties or something at some point.
Yeah.
Like, that would be dope. Yeah, I'm all for it, man.
For sure. Yep. Well, that's all I have to say about Joker.
Yeah, the same here. I think we've got really all of our thoughts out, and this has been a lot shorter of review, so I'm kind of glad we put in a couple of other things before it.
For sure.
Usually, like, our reviews are a lot longer.
Yeah.
Like, I remember our Far From Home review was at least over an hour.
Boy.
And then
I rewatched Far From Home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot you have that. Yeah, you want to talk about that real quick?
I got it on 4K. I was watching it, and I was like, this is a really fun movie. That's all I have to say. No, it's just like, I was like, this is really enjoyable. I was like, it's an enjoyable movie, and
it's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, like I was like, it's like getting to like see it just up close, as opposed to the theater. I got to notice like a lot of the web swinging, and it's like really improved as opposed to Homecomings. Speaking really quickly about theaters, I was really bothered by watching The Joker because I think they forgot to extend. You know, they extend the screens on the side as the film's starting. I think they forgot to do that because there were some glaring things that were cut off on the sides, and it was just irritating me throughout the whole film.
Well, I remember when the Joker logo pops up.
It was like
I saw it was cut off, and I looked over it, and you were like, "Is it cut off like that?" And I was like, "Yep." And they never adjusted it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal was with that.
That kind of bothered me. At first, I was like, maybe this will just like, they just chose to like shrink down the aspect ratio for, you know, for whatever reason. But I was like, that doesn't make much sense to me. Like, I don't understand why they would do that. So then I was like, as the movie was going on, I was like, I'm not seeing things that should be there. Like, I could just tell. And it just kind of like one of those weird things that was bothering me throughout the movie. But otherwise, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for this episode. As always, if you will follow us on our social media channels, like I mentioned, at comicblast_, also our Patreon, which we will have links for as well. We've already beaten that horse to death. So yeah, anything else you want to ask me, Keenan?
Real quick, definitely if you're listening on Spotify, hit the follow button because that helps us out. And if you're listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, hit the subscribe button. That helps us out. Reviews also, that helps us out as well. And yeah,
that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, reviews helps us out. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Anything else you want to add, Grayson?
No. What you should add it. I think you should add it.